I won't watch the rest of the year. I'll listen to it.
Well, then use up our
Look, guys.
and they'll go after us.
I don't know if you've already jumped off the bandwagon. You didn't hurt your ankle or anything, did you? You okay?
I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can you please rise and recite the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming, and if I can ask you to put your phones on mute so it doesn't interfere with our live feed. I realized there was an error on the agenda late this morning, and so I'm making some announcements that there are two number 8s if you have the agenda. So number 8, citizen privilege is fine. Number 9 should be, number 8, the second 8 should be citizen's privilege. Number 9, citizen privilege should be 10. New business, I'm sorry. New business. Number 10 should be citizen's privilege. Number 11 should be executive session. And number 12 should be adjournment. And I need a motion to approve the agenda with some changes that we'd like to make, in which we would move the communications and presentations forward and move item number 8 forward and move number 9, new business, forward.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move number 6, 8, and 9 forward in the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. At this time,
The auditor's on here, so.
the audit is on here, so we're going to move forward with the change we just noted.
Yeah. That's communications.
The first item on communications is a proclamation for the Pink Dunes, the Dunes Pink Classic Proclamation. Whereas recognizing that breast cancer is a disease that affects all members of the family, and the battle for a cure should be fought by all in the community. Whereas the Dunes Pink Classic, a golf tournament held at Bear Trap Dunes Golf Course, is currently in its 19th year. And whereas since its inception, the Dunes Pink Classic has raised in excess of $590,000, which has been donated to the treatment and research for the elimination of breast cancer. And whereas since 2011, these donations have been given to the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, Incorporated, thus ensuring that the effects of these efforts assist those within the state of Delaware. And whereas the efforts by all of those who plan and run the Dunes Pink Classic, as well as those who participate and donate to such a worthy cause, should be recognized and appreciated by the entire community. Now therefore, on behalf of the Town Council, I, John J. Reddington, Mayor of the Town of Ocean View, do hereby decree Tuesday, September 30, 2025 as Dunes Pink Classic Day. Thank you. We're now going to move to communication and presentation B, town press release by town manager.
Okay, yeah, this might be a good time for me to share. I wrote a brief summary of the engagement on the topic for the record. So the town council was contacted via email with an attached letter by a representative of the ACLU on August 20th. The mayor forwarded the letter to me later that day. I emailed the ACLU representative thanking him for the outreach regarding our ordinance and advising him that we intended to review the points raised with the town solicitor. In addition, on August 22nd, a press release was drafted to respond to outreach from the media. We have some copies of this information at the rear of the room, and it's also linked to our agenda online. I then asked the town solicitor to prepare a draft ordinance to repeal our existing ordinance 405 for consideration and possible introduction in case any member of council wished to introduce a repeal. That draft is included under section 9A1 of today's agenda. I can also share that I've had no requests or outreach regarding interest in any First Amendment assemblies or otherwise since the current ordinance became law in July. Therefore, the existing ordinance, number 405, was never tested or acted upon to date. While it's my understanding that we're to consider all the points raised by the ACLU and other members of the public, it's important to note that our ordinance was an attempt to be in a position to be prepared and to also manage possible overlap of regularly scheduled, pre-planned, or organized activities on town property. Also important to note is that our process to adopt the existing ordinance was fully open and available to anyone that wanted to participate. The process included introduction and a first and second reading on 3 different meeting dates. The repeal ordinance, if you were to move forward in that fashion, will need to follow the same process. I personally have not heard from any Ocean View property owner in regard to the topic at this point. I'm not sure if anybody from council has. Lastly, I can also share that from my standpoint, I don't feel we have had enough time for legal counsel to review and research the concerns raised, and from the number of people here at the meeting, I think you may also hear additional comments today that bear consideration as well. Be happy to answer any questions or clarify anything if you have any.
Any questions from town council?
Mr. Mayor, not at this time, but I might as we listen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Now moving to new business, the introduction of the ordinance, repealing ordinance 405. Given all the information presented last month and now today, and the information that we've received from numerous people, I don't feel comfortable introducing this ordinance at this time. Until we can get a full review complete with our legal counsel. I think we should wait until October meeting, when we should be in a better position to make such a decision about repealing the existing ordinance. Any comments?
Mr. Mayor, I agree. Let's gather all the information, take it back, and at that time, we can make a better decision.
Okay, any other
Or a
comments?
different decision.
I think I need a motion to,
No motion.
No vote for that.
No.
all right. We're now moving to citizens' privilege on any items that have been pre-published and listed for the discussion and consideration of the items subsequently added at any time to the pre-published agenda for discussion and consideration. If you choose to speak at the first citizen's privilege, you may not speak on the same subject at the second citizen's privilege. So you now can ask any question you want on anything that's on the agenda at this time. I would ask you to, if you want to ask questions, come up to the podium, state your name and the address that you live at, please. So, man with the sunglasses, first.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Chase Sargent. I'm
Before you
obvious-
start, you only have 3 minutes.
Okay, I won't take 30 seconds. So I just have one simple question. I'm a resident of Ocean View. I'd just like to know where the number 10 came from. What data, studies, facts were used to come to the number 10? Did we do surveys of towns of similar size, with similar police departments, with similar land mass, with similar populations? Or did somebody just decide number 10 was the number? I've never seen, and I come out of the federal law enforcement side of the house, I've never seen a number so low. So my question is, what study, data, or facts were used to reach the number 10?
I'm a little confused. What are you referring to when you said number 10?
For the public assembly ordinance.
Oh, I see.
I can just share that I know different ordinances were looked at. I couldn't tell you right now what entity or anything, but I know that's what kind of played into everything that got put into the ordinance.
But we don't know
I
what
can't tell you what specific. I think just to have a number so that, again, for preparation's sake, so that we were prepared. We're a small town. That would be my best information that I could share, that for why number 10 became the number that was in there. Again, without any feedback from anybody as we went through the process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please.
You need to say your address. You didn't say it. Carol, I don't think we could be.
Hi, my name is David Posner. I live off
Okay.
Cedar Neck
Then
Road,
we
actually
need to know
just
that.
outside the town. Just in reference to your comment, Mr. Mayor, that you needed another month, which I think the council seemed to agree with, before you address the issue of whether or not to support repeal. And you said you need more input from the town solicitor. Have you gotten input from the town solicitor that he or she will be able to provide you with that information in advance of the next meeting? Or did you just hope you will get that?
No, we have received a number of comments from more than, I don't know the number, a lot of people that have sent in emails and letters and called people and talked to people, and we've decided that there are a lot of issues that we didn't take into account that we need to, and we want to get it right, so that's why.
No, my only question was, as the town solicitor indicated that she or he will be able to give you a formal legal opinion on how they recommend you proceed by the October meeting.
I can just share. I can share that we have contacted legal counsel that has said that they believe they could be ready by October 14th.
Thank you.
Okay, if that changes, Mayor and Council knows that if I hear that, I will share that as well, but that would be the goal.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council, and staff.
Yeah, your name and address?
Richard Manfredi, Stingray, Harlem. I'm a low talker, as Seinfeld would say. So thank you very much for allowing me. Stingray is what I mentioned. I'm actually here today because I read an article regarding the item on the agenda as it relates to fast food. And I read the article and I watched the meeting, and frankly, all I want to say is thank you. Thank you for approaching and being thoughtful in your consideration on the issues in front of you. I want to thank Mr. Simoneau and his team, Ms. Hauk, the solicitor, the engineer. From the time we were building our home here a few years ago, the responsiveness of Mr. Simoneau and his team and Ms. Hauk, including the solicitor and engineer, has been incredible. I'm not a stranger to both sides of the public and private world, and I just think that so oftentimes there's so much criticism of elected officials and professionals, but so oftentimes we need to also look at the good they do. I think the ordinance themselves could have gone further. I thought the provisions in the ordinance as it relates to stacking and others, and the dialogue and discussion back and forth between the applicant and the professional team was more than fair. I think that they should deserve a lot of credit for their approach and how they're dealing with this issue. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your servant leadership. Thank you for what you're doing, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it. Any other comments, please?
Hi, my name is Cheryl Siskin. I am one of the leaders of Indivisible Southern Delaware. I thank you for considering the ACLU's position with regard to 405. And I think it's unfortunate that you're putting the decision off for another month. Can we get some assurances from you that you will not be enforcing it in the interim?
We're not going to give any insurances today.
So
We're not going to give any insurances today.
we're not going
Make it on
to
a
give any
case-by-case.
insurances today.
You're not giving any assurances, so
We'll make it on a case-by-case basis, but I don't think the town has any intention to enforce any portions of the ordinance that have been questioned.
okay.
Okay.
That's
But-
the town solicitor.
Okay,
answering your
but
question.
a case-by-case basis is fraught with problems, as you may know.
Well, we don't agree with all of the assertions about the ordinance, and we are addressing it, okay? And that's the best answer I can give you right now.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just add one more thing. Until, regardless of, at introduction, I said earlier, there's introduction, first reading, second reading, and vote, possible vote. That's how all our ordinances go. So even if we do something, we do still today, and then until it's voted on, have a law. So
I know, that's what I'm concerned about.
yeah, so.
That's why I
mean,
came up to the mic today.
I can only share that we have had no requests, and we have made no, we have not put the ordinance into action because we haven't had to, but we certainly would give consideration, and we would include the solicitor to make sure we're not doing anything, because there's always two sides of the coin.
The town is well aware of everyone's concerns, and they certainly have no intention of enforcing any portions of the ordinance that have been questioned, have been called into question.
That are fairly considered prior restraint?
I'm sorry?
That are considered prior restraint on speech? The portions of the ordinance that inhibit speech in advance of that speech by just requiring a permit and $100 or $150?
You know, we're evaluating that, okay? That's what I can tell you. We are
Okay.
evaluating it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Hi, I'm Susan Nolan. I live in Bay Forest. What brought this on initially to pass an ordinance against our Constitution and First Amendment rights? Did you get and ask for a permit for a large crowd? And I understand it's a sensitive issue for parking, the businesses, people's safety. But why would you pass something? You had to know it's a sensitive issue for so many people in this country right now.
Mr. Mayor?
What brought this on?
Yes, thank you, obviously, for your comments. I just believe, that have some type of ordinance in effect going forward would best serve the community in all its aspects. Obviously, with what the ACLU has sent us, gave us a different look on some things. We're not here to restrict, nor was it any consideration of restricting at all your speech. It just wasn't. The town's never done
It's like
anything.
it wasn't thought out, though. You had to know Bethany's not charging permits. Rehoboth, which I've been going to since March, does not charge permits.
We thought we came up with something, and we're definitely taking a look at some of the mistakes that were made, if they're mistakes.
I
And,
wish you wouldn't delay it another month. I mean, it's a kind of smart move to just repeal it right now.
They
We
can't.
can't.
It can't be repealed. It can only be introduced. That's what I said earlier.
Who has to introduce it? Me?
An ordinance to repeal has to be introduced, then it has to have first reading and second reading, just like when it was adopted.
Okay.
Okay.
And we don't know why it was adopted initially, or
We know that what I've stated, and I stated it earlier today, is that it was about being able to be prepared to have awareness in advance to something happening, because we do have on our public property this site, other things that are already pre-planned that we would want to be able to coordinate. If you look back to the meetings back in, I would suggest it was July, the July meeting when it got approved, or maybe the one before that, hard to say if it was first or second reading. Our comments were just that it's all about preparation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Dorothy Moreland, concerned citizen. Your
I'm sorry.
timing was impeccably wrong on this, you know, considering how divided the country is right now. We need to come together instead of silencing one another. We need to come together in a room and work out our differences. And what you did was simply shut down the voices that would tell you how to get better. And I know all of you are here to serve the public, right? All of you, thank you for your service. But, you know, not a great idea right now. Not a great idea. And repeal it. That's my vote.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Joe McGowan. I live in Woodland Park, Ocean View. I'm here on behalf of a number of my neighbors. They have a number of questions. One, they would like to know where this ordinance was posted, because they read Ocean Point, they did not see it. So could you tell us where it was posted for them to know that the ordinance was presented?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So all of our meetings are on our website. Our meetings are always the second Tuesday, and our agenda is always posted there.
So the
you're
general
saying-
media, or
Let
the
her
general
answer,
public.
let her answer.
If
Yep.
you're saying that you're residents of
I
the
am.
town, that's information that is readily available to you. I can totally understand if you're not a resident of the town that you may not know that. We send newsletters with that information out every year. So that's the required posting. And
It's advertised in the Coastal Point as a new ordinance.
None of my neighbors saw it.
Well,
None of them saw it. I have another, next question.
let her finish. You asked
Well,
a question.
she did answer it.
I think she was finishing.
It was advertised for first and second reading and the dates that they would have it.
In Coastal Point?
In Coastal Point in the legal section.
What months were they? So we can go back and check.
That would be
Weeks.
prior to, it was adopted in July, so go back 3 months.
It would have been May that it would have been posted.
My next question is, who was the council member that proposed the ordinance? You, Mr. Cobb?
Yes.
What's your party affiliation, Mr. Cobb?
I think that's an inappropriate question,
Why? Why is that inappropriate?
because we don't have a
They're not elected
political
based on
affiliation.
Your town council does not run by party,
Nonpartisan.
nonpartisan.
And can I see a show of hands of who voted for this ordinance?
The ordinance went through the process, had no feedback from anybody in the community, including residents of Ocean View, like yourself, and it was approved unanimously.
Unanimously. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other questions?
My name is Dan Lilly. I live in Bay Forest. My first comment is that apologies, I guess, for not being up to speed with the initial proposal opportunity to comment. And it sounds like you didn't get any comments from what you're saying. With that in mind, I want to say thank you for bringing it up again. I think that's very important. From what I've read, it looks like it was the Civil Liberties Union letter that got your attention. I'm a child of the 60s and 70s, had done some Vietnam War, anti-war protesting, and some of my concerns with the ordinance would be the advance notice that I think it's 36 hours you have. Especially in this day and age, there are many issues that seem to generate immediate response from citizens, residents. over their concerns, or whatever that issue might be. Also, the dollar fee for applying for the permit, definitely against that. I understand your concerns about traffic and those kind of issues. I think we live in a very peaceful community, and I think the community is definitely divided politically, and that tends to lead to concerns and people getting together and voicing their opinions. And I just hope when the solicitor goes back that you go into the Supreme Court cases, that you'll find many on these issues of permits, advance notice, and I'm not sure how much research was done when the ordinance was passed, but that letter from ACLU certainly seemed to get your attention. So I truly appreciate that you go back and really look at the legal ramifications of the wording in the current ordinance. And I'm hoping then that you're able to repeal that and just give citizens, regardless of political affiliation and viewpoint, the opportunity to get out in the community, whether it's on parkland or in front of the giant supermarket, wherever it might be, as long as they maintain some sense of order, that they get an opportunity to voice their opinion. So I thank you for really bringing it back to us to do that. I think it's a very great move on your part. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure no one's ahead of me. Margaret Reyes, President of Ocean View. First of all, I want to thank you all for serving.
What's your address in Ocean View?
20 Lakeview Drive.
Thank you.
In Fairway Village. First of all, I want to thank you all for serving. I want to especially thank the police chief for being a friend and colleague for 25 years. I have something to say. It's really not about the ordinance. It isn't directly about 405. It's about the fact that when asked who voted for it, the public was told, go look it up. I object to that. I think if you voted for something and you believe in it, when somebody asks you who voted for it, you sit there and you publicly say, I voted for it. So, I mean, when the lady previously asked, or the gentleman previously asked who voted for it, nobody, they were told to basically go look it up, that it's there available. The other
I answered unanimously.
Yeah. Okay, unanimously. Thank you. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
The other thing is when you say something is readily available, look at this room. There's not a lot of people in here who don't have gray hair. And I've learned from our HOA in Fairway Village, when our management company says it's online, maybe there's a lot of people in here who don't go online. I think there ought to be, I know you send something out once a year, but
It was also in the paper, and Donna said that.
in the legal section. Who reads it besides me? But look at this room. This is the kind of engagement you should have in every single town council meeting you have. And whatever you did to get all these people here, keep doing it. But don't, maybe not over this issue, but this is engagement we want. This is engagement to get the public out, to get this town moving forward. I know that you've watched this town grow. It's not a sleepy little town anymore. I've been here for a while. I haven't always been in Ocean View. I'm here now. I'm grateful for the town. I'm grateful for your service. But you know, when somebody does that, the first question when it was first asked was, you know, kind of a toss-off, or look it up, or it's readily available, or go there. You serve the public, which means you serve everybody standing behind me, so try to have some answers and try to be a little more prepared, because you can't not have known that having an ordinance like this was not going to have this effect. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I really want to comment.
Any further questions? If not, then we're going to move forward on the agenda. Has the auditing company?
No, I think you have to do that.
I don't know what they're doing around the
Oh. Okay.
We have to finish
New business.
We're gonna finish up on, new
Up
business.
to the mayor.
I have a question.
Wait, okay.
I had a couple words to say, but
Yeah.
Can you let him say?
No. Okay. No, we're not answering any more questions.
No,
Wasn't a
this is
question,
all
because it was
she goes, how could you not have known? It's like,
No,
I'm good, I'm good. Just move on quickly.
Jay had a question.
My question is, the Christian Point advertising, don't we get a affirmation that we did that?
Where's that lady?
can't hear you.
Don't we get affirmation?
Yeah, I mean, it's readily available to find. Yeah, it's readily available.
Come over here.
They're here, they couldn't get in. Well, we gotta finish new business.
Don't we get affirmation?
They'll get here sooner now.
Instead of saying, nobody saw, we get
We're moving forward to an ordinance to amend the zoning district designation for the lands of SMC Enterprises LLC from single-family residential district for a certain parcel of land containing 24,916 square feet, more or less, identified as Sussex County tax map parcel number 134.00-386.00-32451, Millville Drive.
Jim, are you gonna, is somebody gonna present this? Okay. Just
I can introduce it.
Councilman Walsh.
Yeah.
I'm going to introduce it.
My name is Sean Cummings. I'm here on behalf of SMC Enterprises. And I was here, I guess, about a year ago for the initial meeting for the subdivision that I believe was granted in favor. We then went through the process of getting the DelDOT permits, DelDOT entrance, sending out the letters to everyone in the 200-foot radius or what?
We're just introducing.
Oh, I
the ordinance
apologize.
today. Yeah, so
What?
you'll have your opportunity at the next public hearing.
Okay.
Which will be of the first reading of the ordinance.
Okay.
Okay, today it's just being introduced.
Sure.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. And you'll have the opportunity then to come and speak to the council.
He's gonna introduce it.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
I would like to introduce an ordinance to amend the zoning district designation for the lands of SMC Enterprises, LLC from R1 Single Family Residential to R2 1 and 2 Family Residential District for a certain parcel of land containing 24,916 square feet, more or less, identified as Sussex County tax map parcel 134-12-386.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're moving back to the presentation for the audit by PKS.
We need to pass out.
Okay.
Sorry for the lack of parking.
Did you find parking somewhere?
We're
Up on the lawn? How are you today?
Sorry.
Good.
Thank you.
But I was on the lookout. Remember I told you that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, and you are? Mike, nice to meet you. I don't think I got to meet you.
You did a great job.
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Apologies for not being able to provide you with a parking space right away.
We're right in the next one over, so we're good.
Floor is yours.
Okay, so we're here today to present the fiscal year 2025 financial statements. Just to introduce myself, my name is Alyssa Revel. I'm a manager at PKS and for your audit. With me today is Ashley Stern, partner. You recognize her, and then Michael Edwards. He worked on the audit field work this past 2 months ago. So in front of you, you have 3 documents. The first one being the audited financial statements, which is the bigger bound packet. The second one is the smaller bound packet, which is your auditor's communications, and then the third stapled one is the presentation, which I'll be going off of today, that you can follow along with. So first, we'll discuss the reports that are included in the basic financial statements. The first one is the independent auditor's report on pages 1 through 3, and this is the main objective of getting an audit. It states the opinion on your financial statements, and we are happy to report that we issued an unmodified or clean opinion on statements, which is the highest level of assurance we can give as auditors. The second report on pages 51 and 52 of the financial statements is your report on internal control over financial reporting and compliance. This is not an opinion report. This states if we issued any or found any material weaknesses or non-compliance, which we did not. So there's no material weaknesses or non-compliance found within the statements. Next, we'll go over some of the financial numbers. On page 15 of the statements, you'll find your government-wide statement of net position. Here, you'll see a summarized comparative version of that. So for 2025, your total assets, which includes your governmental and your business type activities, were $3.4 million, which was a decrease from the prior year because of that sale of the water distribution system is no longer there. Total outflows for the year were $1.1 million. Total liabilities were about $1.3 million, which also decreased because of the payoff of the debt related to the water system. And then total deferred inflows for the year were $530,000. And then all that leading to a total net position at April 30th, 2025 of about $29.7 million. Next is your statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in net position, which can be found on page 16 of the financial statements. And this is a comparative version again of that to 2025-2024. So for 2025, total revenues for the town, again, your governmental and your business type activities, was about $9 million, which increased from the prior year by about $533,000. Your total expenses for 2025 were about $8 million, which also increased from the prior year from about $753,000. And then leading to an increase in your net position of about $1.2 million for the year. And then we'll go a little bit more into detail of the revenues and expenses on the next few slides. So here's your governmental activities revenues, and this includes your general admin, your planning and zoning, public safety, public works. So you can see your largest source of revenue is your property taxes of about $3 million, which makes up about 42% of your total governmental revenues. And then following that is your charges for services, about $1.7 million or 22% of your total revenues. And then following that is your realty transfer taxes of about $1.4 million or 18% of total revenues. And then next is your governmental activities expenses by program. So your largest source of expenses is your public safety of about $3 million or 43% of the total expenses, which is similar to last year. Following that is your general administrative expenses of about $1.4 million or 19% of your total expenses. So then next we're going to talk about your general fund, which is on page 17 of the statements. And this focuses on more near-term inflows and outflows and balances of spendable resources. So there's no long-term liabilities, no long-term assets. So in these statements, you'll see that the general fund had a decrease in fund balance of about $529,000. The unassigned fund balance at fiscal year 2025 was $2.6 million, which makes up about 33% of the total fund balance for the general fund. And the GFOA recommends at a minimum that the general fund have at least 2 months of operating expenditures in their unassigned fund balance. And at April 30, 2025, the town had about 5 months of expenditures in their unassigned fund balance, which is above the minimum, which is what we like to see. And then on pages 44 through 48 of these statements you'll see a budgetary comparison schedule in detail and summarized. You can look over that, but in total, the actual amounts were favorable compared to the budget for fiscal year 2025 by about $815,000. So your town's overall expenses were under budget and your total revenues were over budget, and this is mainly due to the timing of like capital expenditures and when projects occur. And then next we'll just point out some things related to your pension, State of Delaware pension. So on pages 37 through 48 of the footnotes and then 49 through 50 of the required supplementary information, you'll see information on your pension liability. So this liability is measured as of June 30th, 2024, so it's a year behind, which is the latest actuary information that we have from the State of Delaware pension system. So the required contribution for 2025 was about $206,000, which did increase from the prior year. And then for 2025, the town had a pension liability of about $147,000. An important thing to note here is that the town has consistently fully funded the required contribution for the retirement plans. And then point out some new accounting pronouncements that were implemented this year and then going forward. So this year in fiscal 2025, we did implement GASB statement number 101, accrued compensated absences. This updates the recognition and measurement of the compensated absence like accrued sick leave, accrued vacation. It mainly affected the town's accrual of sick leave this year. And we did have to restate fiscal year 2024 as well as a requirement of the implementation. So the restated fiscal year 2024 accrued compensated absences did increase by about $82,000 compared to what originally was reported. And then for fiscal year 2025, the accrued compensated absence was about $428,000. And then going forward, some upcoming pronouncements that'll take effect in the next few years. GASB statement number 102, certain risk disclosures, which is effective April 30, 2026. And this just establishes some requirements for disclosure of certain risks and concentrations that the government might have. Statement number 103, financial reporting improvements. This is effective April 30th, 2027. And this just improves some key components of the financial statement reporting model, like the MD&A structure and the budgetary comparison, updates and formats for those. And it just is designed to make the statements more consistent and clear for the users. And then GASB statement number 104, disclosure of certain capital assets. This is effective April 30, 2027. And this just provides more guidance on how to disclose right-to-use assets that come about from your leases and subscriptions. So that's the basic audited financial statements. Next, we're going to talk about the auditor's communication, which is the smaller bound packet you have. This packet could contain 3 letters. However, the town only has 2. The letter that the town doesn't have would contain material weaknesses or significant deficiencies, but none of those were found for the town. The first letter that is included is your management letter for 2025, and this just has some basic or best practices or recommendations for the town year after year. This year the town had 2 comments, but they're more informational than recommendations, just us providing additional information about certain things that were implemented this year, like the GASB 101, and then we have another comment that gives some information on the new Delaware Family Medical Leave Act. And then the second letter within that packet is your communication with those charged with governance. This just contains a lot of required language that we have to state, like there was no significant difficulties encountered during the audit. We agree with all the estimates that were reported in the statements, no non-compliance, no disagreements with management, and it states that we implemented GASB 101 for 2025. Any questions?
Thank you very much. We're always very pleased to have an unmodified opinion.
Yeah. And we really appreciate all of Dawn and Carol's and all the finance staff there. We know we asked for a lot of information, and they provide us within a week, so we're very appreciative of them.
I just have one question. You recommend no less than 2 months for expenditures to be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a ceiling on that?
Not really. You want to take this one? Yeah. Hello, guys.
Hello.
So for a ceiling, the GFOA says the no less than 2 months. Meaning if you had less than 2 months, there would be a risk that you might not be able to meet your operating expenditures for future years. You have royalty transfer taxes dropped off, or if grants and dropped off, something like that, there would be a risk out there. Now, what we say is we want to see no more than 6 months. So not a rule of thumb, if it was 6 months and 3 days, we're not going to slap you on the hand. But typically we're seeing somewhere around 4 months for local towns. So you guys are at 5 months. I'm not necessarily concerned about being a little bit more than the 4 months, what we see elsewhere. But you get to a concern when you're over 6 months, over 180 days, is are you bringing in money that you're not putting back into town services? So I think you guys right now are somewhere in the sweet spot, something to continue to monitor, but not something that I would find really concerning right now. There would really need to be a reason you're over 6 months if you were implementing a new fund balance policy, like a rainy day policy, or you were implementing a reserve for a future construction project, something like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, too. Great question, by the way, and great answer. 2 comments. The new GATS, as you call it, in reference to sick time, that now has become a liability for the town in terms of dollars. There has to be a dollar amount applied to that, correct? Okay. And on the pension side, rightfully and hard earned for all of our town employees and for policemen. But as far as the legacy cost to the town goes, there is none. Am I correct?
Right. I mean, it's a liability that they pay a required contribution every year,
Right.
which is what the state requires them.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. So well earned, by the way,
Yes.
from all the state. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. Thank you very much. You can stay as long as you want.
Now they got parking.
Yeah, you don't want to give up that really good parking spot. Yeah.
I know, I might just go sit in the car and hold my parking spot.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll go into the public hearing portion of the agenda. The first item is the second reading of an ordinance governing the disposition of seized, forfeited, or unclaimed property.
Mr. Mayor, I have passed out a version of this ordinance to the town clerk and to the members of the council. I thought that this had been raised, but I just had my, it did not appear in the minutes, and I just had my secretary go back and listen to the minutes of the meeting, and apparently I didn't. But in section 3, retention and disposition of property under A1, the last sentence on the first page says, which is lesser, and that should read greater. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have a retention policy that is 6 months or the greater amount required by the federal government or state law. So I apologize for that error, but this is a minor error, and this does benefit the public, so I don't see any need to do anything other than to correct this on the record. So for those of you in the public, we are adding the word greater in place of lesser on the very first page, and that is to show that the town will hold property for 6 months or a greater period if required by federal or state law. All right?
Thank you.
So with that amendment, we would ask that the town consider this.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to approve this
Mr.
ordinance.
Mayor,
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to establish an ordinance governing the disposition of seized, forfeited, or unclaimed property when the rightful owner cannot be located.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. The next item is the second reading of an ordinance amending Chapter 213, Article 1, and repealing Chapter 213, Articles 2 and 3 of the Town of Ocean View Code relating to the Town of Ocean View water system and associated fees and charges and private wells.
Mr. Mayor, this was a ordinance that we have previously introduced. This is a second reading, and this was pertaining to the sale of the water system for the town. We are allowing private wells if it is allowed by state law, but essentially we are repealing all the provisions related to charges for the water system that are now being assessed to the residents by Tidewater Utilities since they bought the utility.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, then I need a motion to approve this ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that, excuse me, we repeat Article 1, Chapter 213 of the Town of Ocean View Code relating to the Town of Ocean View water system and associated fees and charges in private wells.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to the first reading of an ordinance amending sections 140-26, 140-128, and 140-152 of the Ocean View Land Use Development Code by defining various permitted types of fast food restaurants, adding them to the table of permitted uses as special exceptions in certain zoning districts, adding development standards for each, and amending section 140-121 to add surgical centers for renumbering purposes only.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, this ordinance has been before you before, and then we decided to break the ordinance into 3 separate ordinances that are being considered for first reading this evening. The only thing that has changed in this ordinance from the prior presentation to the Planning Commission is that we, in section 13 of 1A, made a change to make reference to dumpster facilities. So the Planning Commission had recommended, and and people in the audience had discussed at the Planning Commission level, that they did not want to be obligated to have 2 dumpsters. So basically, we changed the term to dumpster facilities. So they only wanted to have, I'm sorry, I'm getting this wrong. They only wanted to have 1 dumpster? Yeah, please. Mr. Lober is going to clarify this. I apologize.
Good evening, everyone. Jim Lober, town engineer with KCI Technologies. There was a lot of confusion over the language we used, trying to insist that there be separate dumpsters for the fast food uses. We just wanted a separate dumpster for the fast food use. We made a mistake and we maybe were a little naive and we called them dumpster facilities, and that confused everybody. So we just got rid of the word facilities and we specified that fast food restaurants have to have their own dumpster. That's the only change. Okay?
And that was addressed at the Planning Commission because people were concerned that they were concerned that we would have multiple dumpsters, and all we've said is, okay, if you're a commercial unit, you have to have your own dumpster. You can't share. I mean, if you're a restaurant, you have to have your own dumpster. You can't share with an office facility or something like that. That's also in the
Right. And not for the purposes of keeping trash and garbage separate or anything like that, simply to ensure that there was sufficient dumpster capacity given the intense use that fast food restaurants present, essentially.
So basically, what you're saying is that each business that shares the site should have their own dumpster.
What we're saying is fast food restaurants have to have their own dumpster.
Right.
They can't share with their neighbors.
Right.
It's also, I'll just share from experience, if you have problems with a business, a fast food restaurant or restaurant in general that has, is sharing, it's hard to identify who is not playing by the rules with however they're putting things away. So it also helps with that. So if you have to enforce any kind of cleanup and things.
Okay, Steve, I see you're chafing at the bit over here to say something.
Being in the food business myself. So if you're in a strip shopping center, a small one, and you are a carryout, no eat-in, no carryout, you have to have your own separate dumpster.
Yes.
because you don't want it commingled with the person next door to you who could be a nail salon or whatever.
No, I honestly have no issue with commingling of the trash. Purely enough space in the dumpsters to accommodate the intense use that is food production and sale. That's all. So if there's a strip center and there's currently 3 dumpsters and 5 uses, and those 5 uses have sufficient capacity in the 3, but then a fast food restaurant moves into one of the spaces, they need to get another dumpster.
Could that dumpster for that fast food place or carry out be located in the general area where the other dumpsters are? Or does
Yes.
it have to be directly behind their building?
No, it can be located anywhere on site.
So there can be co-sharing, if you will, with that carryout place. Or if that, now that we're making them get their own, it still can be in the common area if one is for that center.
Yes.
It just has to be a separate dumpster.
Yes.
For them. I got it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next item, first reading of an ordinance amending section 140-59.
Did anybody introduce this one?
Yeah, this is a first reading.
Oh, this is first,
Yeah.
oh, I'm
that's-
sorry.
yeah,
I
that's
was
right.
on second reading, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right, no worries.
First reading of the ordinance amending section 140-59-E1 of the Ocean View Land Use Development Code by adding fast food restaurants with drive-through, fast food restaurants with drive-in as uses to the required off-street parking spaces chart, revising the number of off-street parking spaces required for restaurants and establishing the number of off-street parking spaces required for the aforementioned types of fast food restaurants.
So, Mr. Mayor, this is just an ordinance governing parking restrictions for fast food ordinances. This was approved by the Planning Commission and recommended to bring to council, and this is not changed in any way since council saw it.
Okay, thank you. Any
Not
questions?
council, I'm sorry, Planning Commission.
Any questions?
No.
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 Okay, thank you. Moving on, the first reading of an ordinance amending section 140-65 of the Ocean View Land Use Development Code by adding additional signs, types of signs associated with fast food restaurants with drive-in to the signs permitted in GB1 and GB2 zones.
Mr. Mayor, this is, ordinance has been approved by the Planning Commission. There have been no changes made to the ordinance since it came before the Planning Commission.
Thank you. Any questions?
No.
All right, thank you very much. We now are moving to approval of the minutes of the July 8, 2025 meeting. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes for July 8th, 2025.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passes 5-0. We're now going to reports, financial report, Dawn Potts.
Thank you. In your packet, you have the monthly financial update as of August 31st of 2025. As of the end of August, we've collected 93% of our current year's taxes, and 2,793 citizens took advantage of the early payment discount in an amount a little over $30,000. The water system, we originally had 72 accounts that came over from the final cut date from where Tidewater and the town of Ocean View split. We now are down to 6 accounts remaining and an outstanding balance of $3,700, and we're working with them to get those taken care of. These are folks that are on payment plans and working with us to get those amounts taken care of. So it's going very well. Accountant Carol Lebetz has really worked hard on working with the citizens to clear this up. Our balances for the reserve and committed funds, in the essence of time, are before you. If you'd like me to read them out, I can, but they're before you. Under the Emergency Service Enhancement Fund, though, I would like to say that the balance is collected at the end of August of 2025 is 29 new home construction permits. 68 were budgeted for the year, so we are well on our way to making our budget. For transfer taxes, we had As of 7/31, at the time I did the report, we did not have August information as of yet. 42.5% of the transfer taxes were from new construction, home sales, 0.7% from land sales, and 56.8% from resales of homes. And we are, at that time, a little over 200,000 ahead of our year-to-date target, but we're going into now the slower months, November, December, January. So we have a nice cushion going into those slow months to be able to make our target for the year. Your financial statement recap are on pages 3 and 4, followed by our analytics on 5 and 6. If you have any questions about our financials, please let me know.
Thank you. Any questions for Dawn? No.
Mr.
Thank
Mayor,
you.
I've got a quick question if you don't mind.
Sure.
Dawn, just as a recap, I had a little bit difficult time hearing the auditors when they were speaking. The overall audit, it was unmodified, is that correct?
It was an unmodified, which is the highest opinion that they can give, with no management suggestions.
I think that's important too for members of the public, that it was essentially a A-plus audit.
This is the third year we've had no management issues. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the police report.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'm going to try to be quick, but I've got, we didn't meet last month, so I've got some information from July and August, but I'll try to go quick. You have all of the data from, as far as statistics, or for the responses for the last 2 months in front of you. I'll be happy to answer any questions. A couple of highlights. Want to point out that Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 16 really stepped up this year. As most of you know, they did a lot of fundraising for our Cops and Goblins event, and they presented the town with a check for $17,350 to help offset costs to the community for the 2025 Cops and Goblins event, which is scheduled for October 25th here in John West Park. I participated, myself and Lieutenant Carter, we participate annually with a threat and hazard identification and risk analysis workshop that the state does. We revisit this every 3 years, and the state developed a 3-year plan. We're happy that Ocean View and the police department is always invited to participate in that group. This coming 3-year cycle, the threats that have been identified to the state are hurricanes, cybersecurity attacks, and technological threats. That report is going to also help drive our grant funding and what we do as a community to address and mitigate some of these threats that have been identified. As most of you know, we had ongoing meetings over the summer with the Indian River School District, board officials, and we're happy to report that we did receive full funding for our school resource officer from the school district, and that SRO is in place and things are going very well this first week or so at school at North Baltimore. The police department has entered into a MOU with the Delaware State Police and the Delaware Substance Abuse and Mental Health from the state of Delaware to engage in what we call the PDP, or Pre-Arrest Police Diversion Program. This is something new to our area, and the purpose of the PDP is to provide an alternative to incarceration for individuals with behavioral health and substance abuse needs who encounter law enforcement. This is something we've been working on for quite a while, and we're really happy that we got that implemented. We're excited to have a new high school intern that'll be joining us here shortly. I'll name her at the next meeting, but it is a young lady, who's a criminal justice student at Sussex Tech High School. As most of you know, we have had an internship program through Sussex Tech now for the last couple of years, and we're excited to have that young lady join our department. The Police Accountability Committee met on August 14th at the Dagsboro Fire Department. We did have to replace one individual, a representative from Ocean View. We're replacing Pastor Ethan McGee, who had to step down for, he's battling some health problems right now. He's doing okay, but he had to step down from the committee, and he was replaced by Pastor Becky Collison of Mariners Bethel Church. One of the state mandated requirements for the Police Accountability Committee is that there is a representative from the local church community that sits on that. So that's why Pastor Becky was placed on the committee. We have another new program that we're just rolling out this week. It's called the Blue Envelope Program. It's a partnership with the State Association of Chiefs of Police. It's a free initiative that aims to promote safe, clear, and respectful communication between law enforcement and drivers with autism and other disabilities. There are blue envelopes in the back, and they have information on that envelope, and we ask folks with a disability or with autism to keep their license, registration, and proof of insurance in that blue envelope. If they're stopped by the police, they can hold that envelope out, and we're going to instantly know that there's somebody in that vehicle that may have a disability. And yeah, that's going to help us formulate how we're going to respond to that traffic stop. It's also helpful if, God forbid, the individual is involved in a collision, that information would be there for the EMS folks to see, and they would, again, they would know that the individual may suffer from a disability. Our officers attended the annual Attack Addiction Candlelight Ceremony on August 27th on the Circle in Georgetown. That's the event that we've been involved with since its inception. It's dedicated to remembering the individuals that lost their lives to overdose. We're also partnering with the Delaware Substance Abuse and Mental Health to provide naloxone training and overdose awareness. We've got another event on September 25th from 1 to 2 p.m. at the Ocean View Police Department. And finally, Officer Dylan Murphy has been identified for recognition at the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Delaware, and the Office of Highway Safety Annual Award Ceremony scheduled for November 12th. That will be the second year in a row that Officer Murphy was nominated for award by MAD. He's considered a leader in DUI enforcement here in the area. And with that, I'll be happy to entertain any questions. Councilman Hanna.
Thank you, Chief. I'm always amazed at the innovations that you bring to the Ocean View Police Department. And that's the reason why Ocean View continues to be the safest town in Delaware. I want to thank you very much.
Certainly can't do it without the support of the council, so thank you.
And I also want to mention, you gave credit to the Fraternal Order of Police for the $17,350 for Cops and Goblins. So none of that would have happened without you and your staff working hard to pull off that event at Bear Trap Gym. So thank you very much, and your officers.
Well, we understand that, you know, times are getting a little tight, and we certainly want to see the event continue. It's a popular event. We get a lot of really positive feedback from the community, and so we're going to do what we got to do to make sure that we can continue to have that program.
Yep. Thank you. Any other questions for the chief?
Real quick, Mr. Mayor. Chief, on the MOU with the state police and Division of Substance Abuse,
yes.
There's going to be some more details coming out now to help these people who have maybe some mental issues and or substance abuse.
Yes, and what it is, it's a new program that's being offered. Honestly, it's going to give us the discretion out in the field to maybe not make a criminal arrest. In some cases, a criminal arrest isn't the best route to go, quite frankly. And this gives us some alternatives to that to get these folks into treatment, whether it be for mental health issues or substance abuse issues. We've got a growing problem again. I can tell you the new trend is crack cocaine. Just over the last 2 weeks, we've made several arrests here in Ocean View. Crack cocaine, we're going to see that as an emerging drug. For those of you that were around in the 90s, crack decimated this area. It was just horrible. While we didn't have the deaths associated with the fentanyl and the heroin, I can tell you it ruined a lot of lives and put a lot of people in prison. So I'm a little worried about that trending up again with crack cocaine. But there's always that threat out there, unfortunately. We've got a lot of folks that are suffering from substance abuse in our community.
Well, to have more tools at your disposal, anxious to hear how that's going as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Moving on to the Planning, Zoning, and Development Report, Ken Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As well, I'm going to keep mine brief. New housing construction in Silverwoods community continues. I anticipate that we will be issuing 18 certificates of occupancy at the end of this month by September 30th, October 1st. Capital improvements. Contract for replacement of the culvert pipe under Eastgate Boulevard has been advertised. As of this morning, we've received 10 vendors who have picked up bid packages, which is a lot for the size project it is. It's not a real big project. This project will replace a culvert pipe that is along the depot tax ditch, prong 4. It goes under our Eastgate Boulevard, which makes it our responsibility. And it's in the Avon Park community. And I'll be having a public meeting with the folks in Avon Park and Wedgefield. I'll schedule that for next month. I anticipate this project going to construction probably after the Thanksgiving holiday. It should be a short duration project. Design of the last phase of sidewalks and drainage improvements along Woodland Avenue from Hudson Avenue to just south of Betts Avenue, if you're familiar with the Dolby property. That's pretty much where it ends. This project will bring sidewalks to Woodland Avenue, and tying them together from the north and south segments that we've done. And it'll complete the connectivity from State Route 26 to the Assawoman Canal. We anticipate that this project will commence in March of 2026. The big thing we've had on my side of the house for maintenance and operations is since we had the 18 inches of rain in 18 days at the end of June and early July, followed by the high temperatures. We had a week and a half of high 90s, almost 100 degrees. We had several pipe failures in different communities. So we just wrapped up a pipe replacement in Bear Trap Dunes at the intersection of October Glory Avenue and Sycamore Street. We had one in Tidal Walk on Lunchbarn Court. We did pipe cleaning in the cottages of Westview, Bear Trap Dunes. We completed drainage improvements in the area of 4 Elliott Avenue. That area flooded quite heavily in July. And we also made some drainage improvements along Betts Avenue where we did a little couple hundred feet of swale that we cut along Betts Avenue, cleaned some pipes to get into the drainage features that lead out to the White Creek. Code enforcement permits, COs, there for your review. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Ken?
No question, just one comment. Driving around during that heavy rains, I think all council people probably get phone calls, and I got quite a few. And over on Elliott Avenue, when you told me where it was and go take a look, I mean, I was shocked to see how quickly we got that completed. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. I said 6 weeks, and it was 6 weeks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the Town Manager's Report, Carol House.
Yes, you heard from the auditors, so I'll skip over that, but the outcome of the audit, as you heard, was very positive, and just want to commend Dawn for her leadership and the staff for getting prepared and digging out all the information that's requested, and for the certainly the outcome. We had the last 2 free concerts, Hot Sauce and Funsters, and lots of fun, and our attendance was really awesome for both. Hearing a lot from the community feedback about wanting us to kind of move into the fall more with it, so we'll be giving that some consideration. We will be partnering again with the Quiet Resorts Chamber of Commerce for Fire and Ice. Take place this next year, January 30th through February 1st, right here. Hoping that we'll be also partnering with the Historical Society because the theme this year is in the first state because of the 250th celebration of Delaware. So hopefully we'll have some historical component to that. Delaware Valley Health Trust, Mayor and Council, we've mentioned to you that Finance Director Dawn Parks and I are working with the Delaware Valley Health Trust, DVIT, to shorten it, to evaluate its offerings and determine if moving to this public entity pooled health coverage model might be an option for the town of Ocean View while providing significantly similar or increased benefits at a lower cost. Once our initial evaluation is completed, if it appears to be viable, there are several Delaware towns that are with DVIT now. When I was with Newark, we did bring DVIT in, and they're still with them. We will engage the employees so that and provide information sessions prior to making any recommendations to council. But we're happy to get through that and see if it might save some money for the town. Skip through that. I also just wanted to make you aware that our appraisal services, Fred Pearson and Pearson's Appraisal, did sell his firm to Vision Government Solutions. It's been a very seamless transition. Mr. Pearson remains employed by the new company and continues to service our appraisal needs. But that's something that just happened recently, and they're honoring all of our contract pricing and everything, so far it's been seamless from the town's perspective. DFIT, I'm also happy to just share that our public entity pooled workers' compensation trust that the town has been part of since it started many years ago. It represents over 30 towns and cities in the state. They were awarded a Theo Award for its innovation and solution-driven program. For those of you that may not remember, it's a pooled entity, a little bit different than if you have a regular insurance company, so that all of the towns are a member, and I'm on the board of trustees. And when we have good outcomes, we get the money back. The towns get the money back. Instead of it going to like a private entity where the stakeholders get that money. So it's been a tried and true thing in the state, and we're happy to be able to continue to participate and have the success that they're having. Let's see. As you know, we are engaged in a police compensation study for the Ocean View Police Department, and we're also in the final stages, I hope, of an International Association of Chiefs of Police risk analysis. The efforts are ongoing. Initial looks and feedback that I'm getting, I believe we're going to have good outcome to share for both of them, and in the months ahead we will be making some recommendations and sharing that information with you and the public. Other than that, I have a bunch of information about my outreach and engagement, but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions, comments?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Moving on to the Public Works report.
Yes, thank you. As Ken said, weather's been crazy. We've had a lot of rain in July, early August, and then potential hurricane coming up, and a lot of wind. Today's windy and rainy, so we've had a lot of down branches throughout the town and the park. The guys have been out there cleaning that up, fixing signs that are leaning or replacing signs that are damaged. We've been out cutting low branches around sidewalks and throughout neighborhoods, trying to keep that clearance so you guys can get through and not have to worry about scratching your vehicles or low-hanging branches on the sidewalks. Also around the park, I don't know if anybody's ever noticed the volcanoes of mulch around the trees, so we've been trying to get that cleaned up to keep our trees healthy, because we have some old ones out there that we want to keep them going healthy and strong. So that's been a big project we're trying to get done before the fall mulch comes later in October, before Cops and Goblins. So Carol had mentioned the bands. All the guys are excited. There was definitely a big turnout for the hot sauce and Munsters. We've been power washing Savannah's Landing. The sidewalks have been pretty bad, and a lot of mold and mildew on those. Greg Rosner, we noticed a staining on 201. The water's hard, and the rust stains on the pillars and sidewalks, so we got that cleaned up and adjusted all the sprinkler heads. But now the guys have been really busy, just trying to maintain the streets and keep the town looking good. So Jacob and I did attend the 2025 Delaware Summer Turf and Nursery Expo. Some of the classes included stormwater management, tips and techniques, pest and disease walks, and the protocols of designating plants and basins. That's it.
I want to just add, we didn't cover this letter that we got, the email that we got, a thank you, in regards to your work at Savannah's Landing and the power washing. So Ron Gailey, the Vice President of Savannah's Landing, did relay, asked for us to relay our community's appreciation to all who were involved in having our sidewalk clean. They look great, and more importantly, they're much safer to walk on now that the mold is gone. So thank you. That was a communication that was missed earlier, but much worth mentioning. Thanks.
Thank you. Any questions from that? No, thank you. Moving on to the Millville Volunteer Fire Company report. In the month of July, the fire company had 416 calls, quite a bit compared to July of the previous year, 322. Of the 416, 339 were EMS calls. And in the town of Ocean View, they had 67 calls in July of 25 compared to July of 24. Most of those EMS calls were transfer of care, so using the ambulance. So, and we also have the August report, August 25. Total calls were 362 compared to 372 of last year. Of the 362, 293 were EMS calls. 54 were in the town of Ocean View. Any questions on that report? If not, then we are going to move to citizens' privilege on the items of the pre-published agenda. For consideration and discussion. Okay. If you choose to speak at the first citizens' privilege, you may not speak on the second one on the same topic. At this point, the town solicitor has something to say about that.
Yeah, and I just want to confirm, was there anyone in the audience who had any comments regarding the second readings of the ordinances that were on the agenda, or on any of the first readings of the matters that we had on the agenda? No, please. Please state your name and your address for the record.
Paula Kaiser, 16 Brighton Street, Avon Park, Ocean View. Hi. Just when you say fast food, I'm a little bit confused. Like, are you talking like the Shack a Shake, or are you talking like a McDonald's, Burger King?
We're talking all of those.
All of those.
Okay, so the ordinance addresses a fast food, addresses 3 types of fast food restaurants. A fast food restaurant, a fast food restaurant with a drive-through, and a fast food restaurant with a drive-in.
Okay.
So it addresses all 3 type of restaurants.
Now, I know that, of course, the McDonald's is being put up, and that's considered to be Clarksville, correct?
Yes.
I guess I thought, and maybe this has been talked about a long time ago, and I apologize, that type of place there was no place for that in like Ocean View, or did that change? Was it voted on to change that?
Well,
it wasn't that.
Yeah.
I'll answer it.
It wasn't that.
Mr. Sutton.
It's not, in fact, fast food restaurants, according to our permitted use chart, fast food restaurants are permitted only by special exception in General Business 1 and MXPC.
Okay, that,
So
yeah.
fast food is permitted by special exception. Fast food restaurant with a drive-through restaurant was not permitted in the town of Ocean,
Okay,
per our permitted uses chart.
okay. So does that mean if the McDonald's came in, we couldn't approve like a drive-through? Is that what you're saying, or am I
Now,
getting
if
misunderstood?
McDonald's came in, if this ordinance passes, it would be permissible through a special exception.
Okay, because you did
So
specify.
it's not
yeah.
automatic.
Okay, okay. I'm just curious, I wasn't sure.
And the ordinance was intended to give guidelines about when you have drive-in restaurants or you have fast food restaurants, to try to tighten things up, to talk about, give some guidelines for people who are coming in to do business.
Right.
Yeah, and
That
what they
makes
can and
sense.
can't do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Hi, Linda Grande on 9 Hudson Avenue, Ocean View. I'm curious, so when does this ordinance get voted on?
You mean the ordinance on,
The drive-throughs, the fast food?
This was the second reading, so it should be on the agenda next meeting for a vote. This is the first reading, my apologies, the first reading, so it'll be on for a second reading.
And possible vote next, in October.
Okay, and I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody know about the property? Maybe Ken, you know. If we don't, maybe nobody knows. The property on the southeast corner of Woodland and 26?
On Woodland and 26?
Yeah, right across the street from,
Where the Blue Star Memorial is?
no, the southeast corner, that's the
That's-
northeast. Southeast across.
Across from Cafe 26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That parcel is owned by Atlantic Promenade, and they're going through a lot of consolidation right now. That parcel of land, several parcels to the east and one to the south of it.
So it's not going to be developed yet, or?
It's going through the process and at some point may be developed. Right now, they're consolidating the lots.
Because these rumors about, I guess you've seen the rumors about Dunkin' Donuts.
There's no Dunkin' Donuts
Okay.
going there at this time.
Thank you.
Yep.
yes. Come on up to the podium.
I'm not a resident of this fantastic.
It doesn't matter.
I love it. I have two really quick questions. One, thank you for the indulgence to be able to sit in and for all your service. So I have two.
Can you state your name, please?
Teresa Mulligan, and I live up in, officially in Dagsboro, so off 26 in Blackwood Village. One thing is just an observation that I think as we looked at who was able to attend today, I had a friend who wanted to come, but she's working. And then I had another friend who wanted to come, but she had to go to a doctor's appointment. And I just would raise the question whether it's ever considered to convene in the evening so that more people who are working during the day might be able to participate, who would really love to be more active in engaging with the council. So I'm sure you've thought of it before, but I will note kind of who is here and who wasn't.
I can share that the town used to meet at 7 o'clock, and I'm going to say probably 4 years ago that changed to the 3 o'clock. It had little to no impact on attendance, the change. I haven't heard of any, you're the first person that's brought that up, but it used to be 7 o'clock. Was it 7 o'clock?
Yeah.
Yeah,
7
just
o'clock.
making sure.
So just and not for just for y'all to consider another time, but I just thought it might be possible for more people who are working, who's worked and involved, coming to council meetings to be able to participate.
Well, we do have it on YouTube that people can watch after the fact.
Yeah. But
Well,
not
and there's a live feed during always too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be in trouble at work.
Well, if you're at work,
I have a day off.
that
today,
wouldn't be
so-
a good idea.
And then I think also appreciating with the ordinances and looking at fast food restaurants and clarifying kind of the criteria for that. I know I wasn't aware of those. I will go ahead and be pulling things off the web and sharing them with my friends who do live here who weren't aware. And so just take on board the comments that were made previously about the different ways to communicate with the citizens of this beautiful town. And how much I appreciate part of its beauty is the number of independent businesses that are here and how they can be impacted by chain restaurants that maybe people coming in from out of town recognize more quickly and just go, oh, we'll go there, we know what we'll get. So I would thank you for the indulgence of the council for an honorable
Any further? Yes.
Hi, Kitty Rare, Wayland Street. I just want to say, Dawn, you're awesome. So I'm glad everyone recognizes how hard she works because she's so quiet and sort of just does her stuff and no one ever sees her. So, or no one recognizes how much she does behind the scenes. So thank you, Dawn. Ken, I go down Elliott almost every day for a walk or a run or whatever, and I can't believe how quickly that happened and how nice it was. I've liked it ever since you were hired. So again, somebody who I don't think always gets people see the things he does behind the scenes. And
thank you.
As always, I'm so excited Matt's here because I've known him for a long time, and if Savannah's Landing or anyone said what a great job he did, I would always be able to second that without even needing to see it. As far as everyone coming for the situation with the ACLU and all that, I just wish they would come every month because they would have seen the process that came. And as soon as I read about the ACLU, I'm like, how did I let that get past me? I should have recognized that, and if I would have sort of brought it to your attention. But like I said, if everyone who was here would have stayed, they would see the process and how it happens, and that it's not secretive or anything like that. That it's something that's completely out in the open. It's on the website, and they would understand it better if they came every month. So
we're gonna get it right.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I come pretty much every month, and it's usually me and sometimes you, and that's about it. So yeah, I just would have loved for them to stay for the whole meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions, comments?
There was a lady trying to get in. She left her card. I want to give it to the chief. It's all her banking information. She lost it off a piece of paper out of her pocket, and she's an elder, so this is her name.
She lost it here?
Yeah.
At this meeting?
Yeah. I let her in. I looked for it. I couldn't find it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hearing no more citizens' privilege comments, I think we are going to move into executive session, so I need a motion to adjourn the general session.
Motion to adjourn the general session.
Second.
I don't think so.
All in favor? Aye. So passed. We're back in session. I need a motion to go back in session. I need a motion to leave executive session and go back into regular session.
Need a motion to leave executive session and go back to regular session.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
And for the record, we'll just note, no action was taken in executive session.
Okay, any comments? Further comments? If not, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you.